Hey, so I'm about to try and cut into this stock switch plate from the Subaru Ascent. It's probably the most complex way to mount the switch kit, but I've gone ahead and created a bunch of these little templates that I'm going to include with the kits. So this is essentially just a little cutout template for the square switch. I figured that's an easier method of mounting. I was originally thinking the round switch would be easier, but people may have to go out and buy a special drill bit or a special size. So instead, if you have just a X-Acto knife or utility knife, I'm going to see what we can do with that, see how far I can get modifying this switch. But the easiest thing to do would be to just mount this somewhere in the dash. If you look back at the other videos, we talked about some safe places to mount that, and it'd be a lot easier to cut through a single layer of the dash, kind of right by the fuse box access, instead of whatever Subaru thought they were doing with this thing. It's made out of ABS plastic, and you can see all these panels and little things we have to go through. So would have been a heck of a lot easier if they made it hollow this way instead of hollow that way. So I'm probably just gonna put this on time lapse or something, since this is just playing around, but we'll hopefully get somewhere by the end of it, and I'll show you, I guess, when I go to put the actual sticker on there, show you how that goes. Okay, so you can see I got it all cleaned out there so we can access through it. So I hollowed out the inside. It's not near as strong as it used to be, but I don't know why they made it Armageddon proof. But the way this little template works here, it's a kind of two-part thing. If you guys have ever applied a vinyl sticker before, it's the same thing. So of course the demo is not going to work here. There it goes. So you want to peel off the clear layer. Nope. You want to make sure that the vinyl itself sticks to that layer. So now this is your little template that you can stick wherever you want it. So in my case, I'm going to try and get it centered on here, and I got a really bad glare with that light. So we'll see if we can't get it straight. I think that's pretty good there. So once you get it centered, we're done, and then the top layer should peel off. And so now that's your cut line. So whether you're doing this on the car dashboard or on the switch here, that gets your marks, and it's up to you how you do it from there. You take the edge and score that line and leave yourself a mark and peel it off. If you're going to cut through with a knife, I'd say just leave it on there. It tends to work pretty well. From my tests so far, we'll see when I go through this one. The other alternative is you can score it and then peel it off, and that way it allows you to use a drill. So if you want to drill through, especially in the corners, a small drill bit just to mark your corners, and then you can come back with a knife and connect them. Or if you want to do bigger drill bits to remove the majority of it and then come back and clean it up with a knife, something like that is probably the easiest bet. And again, you could use an X-Acto knife. You don't need a utility knife necessarily. Once you get some of that plastic exposed, you can take away little chunks at a time. So back to time lapse. I'm going to see if I can shape this guy out and get a hole in the top. Alright, so this might not be as doable with just a utility knife. I'm gonna go get the drill and see if I can at least mark the corners. You'll see here, I mean, it's thicker material up at the top, so I'm not getting all the way through it yet, and it's pushing really hard and kind of blew out a side there. So I don't want to keep damaging it more than I have to. So I think for the sake of doing the job right, I'm gonna go get some other tools and at least prep that hole a little better, but I'll be back. All right, back in. I marked the corners with the smallest bit I had, and then I took the biggest one I could comfortably fit between the lines to just knock out a big chunk of the material. So maybe be an easier way to start with that, and then I'll knock out some of these as well, if you got them available. So I'm just gonna keep chiseling away in here, and now just shape out, kind of connect all my 4 corner dots, and should have a place for the switch. Alright, so there's a little hole I cut with the template, and it feels pretty snug right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pop it down in. I hope it fits in there. And it's just about perfect. There's a little gap, kind of top and bottom there, but it's got a curved surface on the front, so not sure. I might be able to actually shape that down, but I think I'm okay with it for now. I can always come back and try and shave that face down if it bothers me, but right now it gives me a place that I can pop a tool in there and pop it out if I need to. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this connected here. Should be able to connect my spade bits while it's in there, my little spade connectors, and that's a done switch. Show you what it looks like in the car. Alright, I got my switch here. I already took it out of the dash, so I got an empty hole there, but figured I'd show you how to pop this off if you wanted to ever mess with it. And I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in and get it hooked up. So you start down here in the corner and you're trying to pull this panel out. And usually there it goes. That one's off. And then this whole panel kind of comes up and out. And down here by the airbag, you don't want to pull on the airbag itself, which is down here, but this panel will separate. It kind of runs all the way across, and I'm not going to disconnect all of that, but this should give you access to the back here. I'm going to show down in there. So here's all the switches and switch panels and whatnot. So they're a little bit of a pain to get in and out. I'll go ahead and hook it up to my cables. And then, I'm not sure which side was up or if it really matters. Looks like the blanks, the hard part is on the top. Again, don't know if that actually matters or not, but I'm gonna stick it back in that way just in case. And it actually makes sense with ignition being up. So, slide that back in from behind. A solid click there. And then installation is pretty much the same. So just make sure you're getting the little pegs. These are your little plastic clip connectors right here that kind of lock things in place. So you want to look at them back in this area. You can kind of see where they're supposed to go. There's little slots. So just slowly start in the middle and work your way back out towards the edges. That top one kind of has to hook up over the edge there. But it should all pop back in place. Hear a little positive click. And the last piece is this one. And tuck that top corner behind the seal gasket. And then just gonna reconnect everything in reverse order. Maybe. Okay, issues down there. All right, and there you have it. Switch. And if you look up here at the computer, looks like it's working. So, now we got it.